Daniel E. Lieberman, Exercised, Why Something We Never Evolved to Do is Healthy and Rewarding. Dive into the intriguing world of Exercised, Why Something We Never Evolved to Do is Healthy and Rewarding by Daniel E. Lieberman, where you'll discover that we didn't evolve to exercise. As you explore the eye-opening information in this summary, you'll learn about the vital differences between voluntary physical activity and the natural activity we're designed for. Plus, uncover insights about sleep, strength, the role of walking and running in weight loss, and maintaining an active lifestyle as we age. Whether you're a fitness enthusiast or someone looking to understand our natural aversions to exercise, this book summary promises to debunk common misconceptions and offer a fresh perspective on adopting and maintaining an active lifestyle.
Evolved to move, not exercise. Contrary to popular belief, humans did not evolve specifically to exercise. Our ancestors were physically active due to necessity rather than voluntarily choosing to exert themselves for health and fitness purposes. It's essential to understand this distinction to adopt a more empathetic and supportive attitude towards ourselves and others when it comes to exercising. Picture our early ancestors. You'd likely visualize them actively hunting, traversing challenging terrains, or defending themselves. This physical activity was an essential aspect for their survival, primarily motivated by the need for food. However, this doesn't necessarily mean they evolved to exercise as we understand it today. The important clarification here is that exercise is a voluntary act, typically pursued with health and fitness goals in mind. Humans evolved to be active when circumstances demanded it, such as the urgency to hunt for food. Aside from a few exceptions, like dancing and childhood games, unnecessary physical activity was not inherently a part of our evolution. This lack of natural inclination for exercise may seem unanticipated, but it's logical when considering the biological need to conserve energy. Movement requires energy, and energy necessitates food. While modern times offer easy access to high-calorie foods to replenish our energy quickly, our predecessors faced a constant challenge in finding enough sustenance. In that context, expending energy on non-vital tasks was risky, potentially jeopardizing survival and reproduction. So even though it might initially seem counterintuitive, the reason many people find it challenging to exercise is rooted in our evolutionary history. Acknowledging the difference between evolving to be active and evolving to exercise can help foster a more compassionate approach towards our own and others' reluctancy in adopting a workout regime. We need to recognize that overcoming our inherent instincts can be difficult and requires hard work and dedication. Understanding this concept doesn't mean we should give up on exercising altogether. Instead, it's an opportunity to refocus our perspective on our fitness journey. By appreciating the underlying reasons behind the reluctance to exercise, we can cultivate a more supportive environment that encourages commitment to a healthier lifestyle for both ourselves and the people around us. Debunking the 8-hour sleep myth. The widespread belief that we need 8 hours of sleep each night may not hold true for everyone. Studies have shown that different populations, such as hunter-gatherers, Amish farmers, and rural Haitians, naturally sleep less than 8 hours. These findings challenge the conventional wisdom about sleep, revealing that it's normal to get less sleep than experts recommend, and in some cases, it may even be beneficial to our health. The modern era has brought about a common concern, the belief that we're not getting enough sleep. It's often said that we need 8 hours of slumber each night. However, recent studies challenge this notion and shed light on variations in human sleep patterns. The widely accepted belief that we need 8 hours of sleep every night dates back to the 19th century when a catchy slogan of the factory workers' strike emerged: 8 hours for work, 8 hours for rest, 8 hours for what we will. While memorable, it may not be the best guide when it comes to understanding how much sleep we actually need. Pioneering research by sleep scientist Jerome Siegel and his team at UCLA delved into the sleeping habits of populations across the globe. They discovered that hunter-gatherer and hunter-farmer groups in Tanzania, the Amazon rainforest, and the Kalahari Desert slept, on average, 6.5 hours each night, less than their counterparts in industrialized societies. These individuals' sleep patterns varied by season, with slightly less sleep in summer months and a little more in winter. Further studies on Amish farmers, rural Haitians, and subsistence farmers in Madagascar revealed similar patterns. These compelling findings suggest that it is perfectly normal to sleep for less than 8 hours a night. In fact, research indicates that people who sleep around 7 hours might even live longer than those who sleep more or less than this amount. The takeaway from these studies is that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to sleep. Don't fret if you don't consistently get the recommended 8 hours of sleep each night. If you find yourself struggling with sleep deprivation, consider incorporating regular exercise into your daily routine to help improve your sleep quality. Debunking primal fitness myth. Contrary to popular belief, our ancient ancestors were not exceptionally brawny. Modern hunter-gatherer populations, such as the Hadza of Tanzania, exhibit lean figures and moderate strength that fall within Western norms. Reasons for their lack of bulky muscles include the difficulty of building muscle with bodyweight training and the high caloric cost of maintaining muscle mass. The necessity of being exceptionally strong to attract mates and overcome predators did not outweigh the energy conservation advantages, leading to the evolution of a lean, moderately strong form. The primal fitness movement postulates that our prehistoric cave-dwelling ancestors were incredibly strong and muscular, thanks to their rigorous lifestyle of hunting and moving massive boulders. According to enthusiasts, our modern sedentariness has resulted in weaker physiques, and we should strive to regain our primitive prowess. However, is this image of superhuman strength truly reflective of our evolutionary past? Contrary to this theory, evidence from existing hunter-gatherer populations suggests we did not evolve to be naturally brawny. Data on the Hadza tribe from Tanzania, as well as other traditional societies like the Mbuti of Central Africa, the Batek of Malaysia, and the Aceh of Paraguay, reveal that their strength and muscle size are comparable to or even below those of Western populations. While undoubtedly fitter than most modern individuals, they do not exhibit the extraordinary muscularity imagined by primal fitness advocates. The absence of remarkable strength can be attributed to the limitations of bodyweight training and the significant caloric costs associated with developing and maintaining muscle mass. Building muscle with only one's body weight as resistance is challenging, and increased muscle mass necessitates higher energy intake for upkeep. In fact, around a fifth of our energy consumption is directed towards maintaining our muscles, and this proportion increases with more muscle mass. Considering the evolutionary benefits and drawbacks, the advantages of being exceptionally strong did not surpass the energy conservation boon of leaner bodies. Rather than evolving to become burly warriors, our ancestors developed enough strength to successfully navigate the challenges of their daily lives. The primal fitness concept inadvertently promotes a historically inaccurate and biologically unfounded ideal. Walking, a weight loss ally. Exercise scientists have debated the effectiveness of walking for weight loss, with some pointing out its low-calorie burning nature and propensity to increase hunger. However, a study found that increasing the amount walked per week to 300 minutes led to more weight loss, proving that walking has a role in shedding pounds. Moreover, walking is crucial for maintaining a healthy weight, as those who exercise regularly are more likely to keep the weight off than those who don't. Thus, walking should not be dismissed in weight loss and weight maintenance strategies. Walking has long been a topic of contention among exercise scientists, with many questioning its role in weight loss. The energy consumed during moderate exercise like walking seems to suggest that it should help burn fat. However, others argue that walking is an inefficient method for shedding pounds. Nevertheless, walking does play a crucial role in weight loss. Critics argue that walking burns few calories and increases hunger, often leading to overeating. Studies supporting this notion found that individuals who walked briskly for 150 minutes per week experienced minimal weight loss. This lack of dramatic impact can be attributed to our inherent efficiency in walking as a species. While this efficiency is usually advantageous, it makes losing weight through walking more difficult. Fortunately, there is still hope for those who rely on walking for weight loss. The same study that showed minimal weight loss for individuals walking 150 minutes per week discovered more promising results with a group that walked for 300 minutes per week. After 3 months, participants in this group had lost an average of 6 pounds. Extending this progress over a year could potentially result in a 26-pound weight loss. While walking alone may not be the ultimate key to losing weight, it plays a significant role in maintaining weight loss. Statistics show that within a year of completing a crash diet, individuals who do not exercise are prone to regain half of the weight they initially lost, eventually returning to their starting weight. In contrast, those who engage in regular exercise are more successful in maintaining their weight loss. In summary, although walking isn't a miracle solution for weight loss, it plays a valuable role in both shedding and maintaining a healthy weight. Walking's impact should not be overlooked, especially when combined with other weight management strategies. Mastering injury-free running. Running can be a heart-pumping, exhilarating experience that doesn't necessarily have to end in injuries. Evidence shows that running injury rates are U-shaped, with novices and serious runners more prone to injuries, while moderate runners enjoy relatively few problems. Running doesn't cause osteoarthritis, in fact, it promotes healthy cartilage. To minimize the risk of injury, make sure to progressively increase mileage and speed, giving the body time to adapt. Observing the body's fascinating adaptation, even under intense conditions, illustrates the resilience and capabilities of those who undertake running as a lifelong pursuit. Have you ever considered running, only to get discouraged by stories of aches, pains, and even long-term damage? Fear not, because, when done properly, running is not only exhilarating but can even help maintain healthy cartilage. Understanding the patterns of running injuries, and how to properly avoid them, is key. Interestingly, the running injury rates form a U-shaped curve. At the two ends, novices and serious runners tend to encounter the most injuries, while moderate runners in the middle have considerably fewer issues. While it might seem counterintuitive, running doesn't cause osteoarthritis. On the contrary, studies support that running, along with other physical activities, promotes healthy cartilage. The big question is, how do we minimize the risk of injury? The answer lies in being mindful of the body's adaptation process. It's essential to gradually ease into running, giving our bodies time to acclimatize. Enthusiasm can be your ally, but jumping headfirst could leave you hurting. A good rule of thumb is to avoid increasing your speed or mileage by more than 10% per week. An inspiring example of the body's tremendous adaptability can be seen in a group of 8 runners who traversed 3,080 miles across the U.S. in 2015. They ran approximately a marathon distance daily, with only one rest day a week. Despite initial pain and stiffness, over time, they adapted. Remarkably, about 75% of their injuries occurred during the first month, and by the final month, they reported no injuries at all. Embrace the challenge of running, and trust in your body's ability to adapt. By taking a measured approach, the joy of injury-free running is within reach. Stay active, age gracefully. As you picture your retirement, consider the lifestyle of hunter-gatherer societies, such as the Hadza of Tanzania. Older members of these communities remain active, fit, and strong well into their later years, defying the common belief in the diseases of aging. They experience low instances of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and Alzheimer's due to a phenomenon called compression of morbidity, which emphasizes sustained activity throughout life. Learning from the Stanford Runners study, staying active results in better quality of life, longer lifespans, and improved physical abilities, a lesson to embrace regardless of your location. Think about your vision for your golden years. Now, imagine the lives of older members of hunter-gatherer societies like the Hadza of Tanzania. While American activity levels tend to drop significantly in the later years, the Hadza maintain a more stable lifestyle, staying strong and active as they age. This way of living has many benefits, including a life expectancy similar to that of industrialized nations. The central lesson here is the importance of staying active as we grow older. Many so-called diseases of aging, such as heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and Alzheimer's, are not an inevitable part of growing older. The Hadza and other hunter-gatherer societies rarely experience these diseases. The secret lies in the concept of compression of morbidity. Unlike the long period of ill health many people in industrialized countries suffer before death, hunter-gatherers compress physical decline toward the end of their lives, largely due to maintaining activity levels throughout their lives. This principle doesn't solely apply to remote societies. The Stanford Runners study, led by renowned medical professor James Fries, demonstrates its relevance closer to home. Fries and his team observed and compared results from 500 amateur runners and 400 inactive but healthy participants in their 50s. Over the years, they found that non-runners died at accelerating rates compared to their active counterparts. Inactive individuals were, in fact, about 3 times more likely to die in a given year than the runners. Moreover, the active participants didn't just live longer but enjoyed a better quality of life. The study tracked the subjects' abilities to perform basic tasks such as walking, dressing, and other daily activities. Non-runners lost these abilities at double the rate of the active group. The takeaway is clear: whether you reside in a bustling city or a rural village, staying active as you age allows you to live longer, minimize illness, and maintain physical abilities. Embrace the wisdom of the hunter-gatherers and stay active to age gracefully and enjoy a better quality of life. Make exercise fun and necessary. Our evolutionary history is not designed for voluntary physical activity, making exercise feel unnatural and difficult for many. To make exercise a more regular part of our lives, we need to make it both more fun and essential. One approach is to create an environment that encourages us to stay fit, such as paying in advance for a race or involving someone respectable to track our progress. Moreover, adding a social aspect to exercising, like working out with friends or listening to a podcast, can make the experience more enjoyable, ultimately helping us adopt a healthier lifestyle. The human body was never evolved to indulge in voluntary physical activities, which makes exercising feel both unnatural and unpleasant. Recognizing this fact is crucial, but we can use this knowledge to our advantage, rather than letting it paralyze us. To build a healthier lifestyle, we must strive to make physical activity both enjoyable and somewhat mandatory. Exercise, while beneficial, is not an absolute necessity for survival. Being unfit might bring challenges, but one can still get by. To make exercising a part of our lives, we need to create an environment that nudges us toward staying fit. One way to achieve this is by involving someone respectable to track our progress, ensuring that we meet our fitness goals. Another approach is to sign up for a race and pay in advance. While it may not force us to participate, putting our money on the line can give us the push we need to commit to training. However, simply coercing ourselves into exercising is not the ultimate solution, as it might result in being fit but unhappy. Embracing physical activity as a lifestyle choice requires making the experience enjoyable. One of the most effective ways to achieve this is by engaging in social activities while exercising. Our hunter-gatherer ancestors often worked together in pairs or groups during various tasks, making physical exertion a communal experience. Incorporating a social element into our workouts, like joining friends or a team, can enhance the overall experience. Alternatively, distractions like listening to a podcast or audiobook while exercising can make workouts feel less tedious and more appealing. In the end, understanding our inherent inclination towards inactivity and finding ways to make exercise both enjoyable and essential can empower us to overcome those instincts, leading to a healthier lifestyle.
In summary, Exercised by Daniel E. Lieberman challenges our perceptions about exercise, revealing that we didn't evolve to engage in voluntary physical activity as we know it today. From understanding the importance of sleep, the evolutionary limitations on our strength, to the benefits of walking and running, we've learned a great deal about how to maintain an active lifestyle and its long-term effects on our health. It's crucial to overcome our natural reluctance to unnecessary activity, and find ways to make exercise a more enjoyable and necessary part of our daily routine. By learning from our hunter-gatherer ancestors and incorporating social and fun elements into our exercise activities, we can conquer our instincts and work towards living healthier, more rewarding lives.